Hi, I'm Kristina Bergsten with the Animal Law Firm, and today I will be answering some of the questions that I often get in the practice of animal law. The Animal Law Firm represents pets and their people. We are fighting for the underdog in Colorado, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. We represent clients and their pets in all areas of animal law, including veterinary malpractice, dog bite defense, service animal representation, pet custody, breeder contract disputes, and so much more. One of the questions that I thought I would answer today is, what documentation does a tenant need to supply for their emotional support animal? Essentially, there's not much documentation that needs to be supplied. Emotional support animals are animals that provide emotional support. They're not necessarily trained to do anything specific. Animals that are trained to perform a task, or animals that do work on a continuous basis, like observing their owner for a PTSD episode, those are service animals. So those are protected under a different area of the law. But emotional support animals are basically only protected under the FHA, the Fair Housing Act. And their significance is just to not have to pay pet rent basically. I mean, from my perspective, it's a problem with landlords charging pet rent in ever increasing housing costs with inflation. So this is kind of a landlord-tenant problem, in my opinion, not a mental health problem, but the law is what it is. So emotional support animals, you just need to have a doctor's note, basically. There are a lot of organizations online that will say things like, oh, register your ESA here today. Those are meaningless, except for the fact that I guess a lot of these organizations will connect you with a doctor who will do a phone interview with you and go over your basic mental health history, and then determine whether or not you meet certain qualifications for maybe depression or anxiety under the DSM-5, I think it is now. And then if you meet those qualifications, it doesn't necessarily have to be disabling, but it does have to be disruptive to your life, such that, you know, an emotional support animal will provide comfort. So I mean, you can use those websites. There's nothing illegal about them. I would just recommend that whatever state that you're in, you find a doctor who is also licensed in that state. If you live in Texas and you're getting a ESA prescription from a doctor in California, even though technically that's perfectly legal and valid and there's nothing that prohibits it, landlords will try to tear it apart, especially if they have, you know, general counsel, if you're working, you know, if you're living at some big apartment complex. But yeah, that's basically it. You just need to provide paperwork from a doctor, just a doctor saying that, and that's it. And then if the landlord fights you on it and is trying to discredit that, or ask for more information, or ask for mental health records, or ask your provider to sign a release, or ask you to sign a release to your provider is prohibited under HIPAA from releasing your records without a release. So typically, if you're getting to that point with a landlord or a landlord's attorney, give my office a call. We write letters all the time because we know what the law is, and a lot of these attorneys will back off once we send them a letter because they know that you have legal representation that knows what they're talking about, and they know the law. They just choose to bully people because they want that extra $100 a month or $50 a month or whatever it is that they're trying to charge on pet rent. But I mean, technically, they're quasi-med. I wouldn't say that emotional support animals are a medical device, but I would say that they are. I mean, they provide a medical therapeutic benefit. So medical devices, service animals are medical devices, but emotional support animals are not. So it's a little bit different, but either way, give my office a call if you're having trouble. We can only represent people in Colorado, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania for now. We're working on expanding nationwide, so hopefully we'll be in your state soon. But you know, we are always happy to provide guidance on how to construct your own letter, or we're always happy to work with other attorneys in your state if you find someone who's willing to write a letter. We also have templates for sale on our website, one of which is a blank, fill in the blank Mad Lib style ESA letter to a landlord. So yeah, check out our website. That's theanimallawfirm.com, and check out a template if you think that that would be helpful to you. And yeah, hopefully that will put the issue to rest, and you and your emotional support animal can live comfortably and in peace. Thank you. That is all for right now. I will be back later with more answers to more of your burning questions. Bye-bye.